Yeah, Danny Ferry's done a great job. He's tried to do everything over the last 3-4 years to help LeBron believe they're doing everything they can to win a championship. Dan Gilbert, the owner's done everything from the new practice facility to getting him to go to that, what was it, the Billionaire Club over the summer to meet with all the billionaires out there. So they've done everything they can to make this the place that LeBron should want to stay. Well, the most important thing is keeping LeBron James. No offense to Shaq, who's won 4 championships already. It's about LeBron. Once they get LeBron taken care of, then they'll look at everything else. And with Shaq coming here, it solves a big problem for them. They didn't have a big guy in the middle that was a defensive force, a rebounding force. Zydrunas Ilgauskas, who will come off the bench now, is more of a finesse player, an outside shooter. Shaq gives them that legitimate post player to defend the Dwight Howards, the Paul Gasols, the Yao Mings, and guys like that who really hurt them last year.
They're nowhere near that. What is the morale of Cleveland, the team, and the city, the fan base right now?
Yeah, you're right. A lot of people thought they would challenge for it, but when you have Anderson Varejao out and Mo Williams out, 2 of your veterans that you were counting on, that really hurts you. And then you add in a Manny Harris, a Samardo Samuels, a Christian Iyenga. You know, those are the guys that are getting the minutes right now. So I didn't think they'd be this bad at 8-40 at this point, but I expected them to be in the lottery and in the top 5. A lot of people didn't. I did. I think it's finally settled in that LeBron did mean a lot to this team. And without him, this wasn't a playoff team. And right now, they're showing you that without some of their veterans, too, that they're a lottery team.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad, Kenny, but pitchers and catchers report in a few weeks. Maybe it'll distract Cleveland Cavs fans, at least for a little while. Kenny Roda of ESPN Radio in Cleveland. Kenny, always good to talk to you. Thanks.
Thanks, Jay.
And Kenny Roda hosts a radio show on ESPN, 850 in the home of rock and roll, the great town of Cleveland, and joins us this morning. Kenny, good to see you. Thanks so much. What goes through your mind, and what do you think goes through the minds of your fellow Ohioans when you watch that video of LeBron down in Miami there?
Yeah, very, very painful. The fans were already bitter, unhappy. They felt betrayed. And then to see that and the way LeBron was celebrating down there in Miami, very hurtful. And Cavs fans will not welcome him back with open arms in Cleveland. We'll see, though, what happens in Akron.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. He's been pretty much universally panned for the way he handled the announcement. In fact, just the wording he used, I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Not South Florida, not Miami, South Beach, which is basically modeling agencies and bars. but is there a way he could have done it differently that would have left less pain? Is there any way he was going to move to Miami and not anger all of his fans there?
Absolutely. Doing this live TV show, 1 hour to rip the hearts out of Clevelanders on national TV, he had the right as a free agent to go wherever he wanted. But the way he went about it is what really has Clevelanders upset, and deservedly so. He could have just held a small press conference in Miami and said, this is where I'm playing, be done with it, and that would have been fine. Some people would have still been upset, but it wouldn't have been, as devastating as it was watching it on ESPN the other night.
Right, and in fact, the team learning about it essentially from that as one Cavs fan.
Key for Game 1 as the Cavaliers try and bounce back after that rest.
Maybe not a great start, but just to keep it even if they're a little rusty, and then I think the Cavaliers will refine themselves and really pull away. In their 3 wins over Atlanta this year, they've led by double digits at the half. I think that second quarter will be better than the first quarter. I think LeBron is going to be phenomenal, as he always is. He takes his game to that next level come playoff time, and he's shown that already this year, and I expect more of that starting tomorrow.
Kenny Roda, take it away.
Thanks, Doug. I asked Coach what he liked in that first period. He said, not much at all. I said, well, what do you need to do here in period 2 and period 3? And he said, number 1, we need to raise our intensity. We're not intense enough here tonight. Number 2, need to make sharper passes. I heard Jock talking about that. He's right on the money there. And number 3, we need to get more pucks to the net to give ourselves some chances. So those are the things he needs to see here in this second and third period. Guys, back up to you. Welcome back to Quicken Loans Arena. I'm Kenny Roda. Here's what's coming up during the second period intermission. We'll grab one of the Monsters players. We'll talk about the first 40 minutes of action here today. We'll have part 2 of Doug Plagan's interview with David Oliver of the Monsters, and we'll have all the stats and the highlights from the first 2 periods. But for right now, let's throw it back upstairs to Doug and Jock. Guys.
And we are ready downstairs. Let's kick it to Kenny Roda.
Thanks. Luke Walker here with me. Luke, take me through the first 2 periods. How do you think you guys have played tonight?
The first period, we didn't really have...
He wanted to see more pucks to the net. He wanted to see more intensity, sharper passes. Do you think you guys did that?
Yeah, for sure. I think that
You got the game's first goal. We'll take a look at the monitor here. Take me through it. What happened?
Barry made a great pass.
And key here maybe to get a goal early with the power play opportunity coming out in the third?
Yeah, of course.
That'd be nice, right?
Oh, yeah.
Luke, thanks so much. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Luke Walker with the game's only goal so far here at Quicken Loans Arena. The Monsters with a 1-0 lead over the Griffins. We're just getting started with the second period intermission. Plenty more to come your way, so stay with us right here on the Monsters Hockey Network. And joining me right now down here just outside the Monsters locker room, some special guests here tonight. They play in this building tonight. They're checking out what happens on the ice. Kyrie Irving over on this side, Tristan Thompson over on this side. Guys, first of all, how many hockey games have you been to, Kyrie? We'll start with you.
I've been to 3 hockey games in my lifetime.
All right, so what'd you think of the first period of this one?
I thought I did a good job offensively, passing
Now,
the ball.
what was the biggest adjustment, Kyrie, from you only played 11 games at Duke, but still you got a taste of college ball. What was the biggest adjustment?
I would say the biggest adjustment for me is
How about the first game winner of your career? How did that feel? Take me through that, because everybody loves somebody that can step up in crunch time.
well, I mean, I had one in Indiana.
Overall pick. Tristan, you were the 4th overall pick in the draft. How has your rookie season gone? Give me an idea.
Besides the injury, it's been going pretty well.
As far as the adjustment from college to the pros, I asked Kyrie, and let me get your thoughts. What was the biggest adjustment?
Like Kyrie said, the travel game. I'm trying to go for all-time blocks. So if you're in my way, I'm gonna block your shot.
Wow, so the challenge has been issued right here on TV. 2 of the Cavalier rookies doing a great job for the team as they get ready for the All-Star break. You can watch them again. It's the Rising Stars Challenge game. Team Chuck, Team Shaq, but most importantly, Team Cavaliers with these guys and a lot of games left to go here at Quicken Loans Arena. Guys, thanks for stopping by. We get a look at them dropping the pucks out there on the ice tonight. And the Monsters have responded in a big way, 2-0 after 1. Stay with us. I thought it was a good test for the Ohio State Buckeyes tonight as they went into a hostile environment. They fell behind. They faced adversity. They stared it down. They came away with the win. Back-to-back big wins, Wisconsin and Northwestern. They get the time off. They can work on some of the things they need to clean up and then come back against Iowa and keep this winning streak rolling. Longest in the country, 18 straight. Urban Meyer has yet to lose at Ohio State. Well, what I want to say about the coaches, we're questioning Luke Fickell in the defense and that today, and even maybe Tom Herman in that first half. Kudos to those coaches for making the halftime adjustments. 2 games in a row now. They've trailed at halftime. They went into the locker room. They made some adjustments on offense and defense, and they've outscored the opposition now 51-17 the last 2 games in the second half.
All right, I've got less than 30 tomorrow, Browns-Packers.
It's going to be closer than people think. Vegas got it at 10 points. I think it's going to be a 4-point victory by the Packers.
What do you got?
I like Green Bay by 10.
I don't know. I think the Browns, if they get lucky and a couple things work there, the Packers.
No, it wasn't. The Buckeyes took care of business. I would like to have seen a bigger win by the Ohio State Buckeyes, more style points. It was 42-0 at one point, and they win 42-14, so they took care of business, but they did accomplish a number of things. 23 consecutive wins. That's an all-time record at Ohio State. Most points ever scored in a single season for an Ohio State team. That was accomplished today, and most importantly, they clinched their berth in the Big Ten championship game opposite Michigan State.
Braxton Miller.
Braxton Miller's playing at a very high level right now. Early in the season, he looked good, then he got hurt, and we were wondering, was he ever going to get back to that high level again? Well, he's shown in recent weeks, even though he had a couple of turnovers last week, that he's able to cut, stop, and take it the distance, leap into the end zone for a touchdown, or go deep to Devin Smith for a touchdown. He's playing very, very well right now. And I expect a similar game from him today, and if they can run Carlos Hyde, that'll set up some play-action shots down the field with Hireman, with Devin Smith, Philly Brown, if he's 100% healthy. So the key to this team for me, even though Braxton Miller has started to play at a very high level as of late, it's been all about riding Hyde to victory. And if he was not suspended for the first 3 games of the season, we'd be talking about Carlos Hyde and the Heisman Trophy.
He's not ginger at all.
No, he wasn't. He was making cuts. He was diving into the end zone. The one time I didn't think he needed to. The other time he did to get the touchdown. You can see that he's back to 100%. He's making cuts. He's scrambling. He's stepping into his throws, planning. He threw the long touchdown pass there to start the 4th quarter. So he looks like he's the Braxton Miller from the beginning of the season, 100% healthy.
And it's a big run from Braxton Miller.
Braxton Miller doing what he does best, making people miss, get to the outside, evading tacklers, and setting the offense up with a golden opportunity to score early.
And Matt,
Taking it to the outside again, and then the stupid somersault. I don't know about you, Matt. When there's no need for it, an injury's waiting to happen there, but he comes away healthy, and then the special teams comes up with a block punt.
Bradley Roda.
Yeah, but in the scrimmages, they did what they were supposed to do. They went out and they put up a ton of points. The Buckeyes have set the single-season record for most points scored, and think about it. They still have the Michigan game today, the Big Ten championship game against Michigan State, and the bowl game, whichever that'll be, the Rose Bowl possibly, or the national championship game. So they're scoring like crazy. The important thing is that the defense is starting to come around, led by Ryan Shazier. 20 tackles last week against Michigan, 16 the week before. He now is the centerpiece of that defense. Bradley Roby playing better as of late. So the defense is finally starting to catch up to where the offense is. Well, without question, he is going to make this a big deal, make sure they keep their focus. And the only thing that matters is beating Michigan and winning their 24th consecutive game. That's the focus. Not worried about the BCS. Not worried about the Big Ten championship game just yet. Go into Ann Arbor, get a win by 1 point, by 5 points, hopefully by 30 points, and then worry about things after that. The only thing that matters is the Michigan game today.
You're right now.
Well, I love the push they're getting up front. Joey Bosa, the freshman, has been outstanding this year. Michael Bennett has done a great job up front, and that helps the linebackers, Curtis Grant, Joshua Perry, Ryan Shazier, become better linebackers. And we've talked about Shazier, 20 tackles last week. This may be his last Michigan-Ohio State game. He's only a junior, and he hasn't said whether he's coming back or not. We know Roby's leaving for the NFL. We don't know about Shazier, so if indeed this is his last game, you know he wants to go out with a bang. And C.J. Barnett's been stellar in the defensive backfield as well this year. So the defense has really grown from game 1 against Buffalo to this game here today against Michigan. For me, value the football on offense and defense. In other words, take care of it when you have it. Try and get it from Michigan when you don't. That's number 1. Number 2, score touchdowns, not field goals when you're in the red zone. So many times we've seen in this game where you get down there at the 2-yard line, and next thing you know, you're kicking an 18, 19-yard field goal. Can't do that. Got to score touchdowns, and don't let up. If you get up by 10, 14 points in the second quarter, try and beat them by 21, 28, 35 points. Don't let up at any point in the game. Try and bury Michigan because, A, it's Michigan, and B, you're trying to get style points for the voters. So bury these guys if you can.
Were you concerned about this?
No, because this was necessary to get in the end zone. He had to dive to break the plane there to get in the end zone touchdown. I have no problem with it on that play. Yeah, and it could have been a little bit more, but you'll take the lead at halftime like that, 28-0 going into the locker room, and you hope to come out and build on that in the second half.
Indiana.
Well, it does, and you're hoping for that blowout, shutout win to really get the style points that everybody's talking about. But it was 42-0 at one point, and then you start subbing, and the snow and the weather comes into play. It looked good at that point early in the fourth quarter, but those last 2 touchdowns, the voters that don't watch the entire game on the other side of the country are just going to look at the final score and say, you didn't cover the spread. It was only a 28-point win, and it's Indiana, so it could come back to hurt the Buckeyes, but we'll wait and see what happens tonight with Oklahoma State and Baylor.
He's All-American.
16 tackles last week, 20 tackles tonight. A great job the last 2 games. Hopefully he can continue that trend going into the Michigan game next week. He might be pushing himself into the draft, first and second round of the NFL draft if he continues with numbers like that in the Michigan game, the Michigan State game, and then whatever bowl game they play in.
So you can't.
I think you throw the records out the window. We always hear about that in the rivalry game, but it's so true. Look at last year, 26-21. The year before when Ohio State was terrible at Michigan, it was a 40-34 game, both games within a touchdown. So the Buckeyes can't get too big-headed this week, and I think Urban Meyer and his coaching staff will make sure they don't get too big-headed, but also that they're focused and don't take things lightly.